It's Friday, April 3rd, 2020, and here's what's happening. Chautauqua County officials say they've received more positive cases of COVID-19. We have the latest. Plus, UPMC says that they may have found a potential vaccine for the virus.
And clouds are starting to increase from an odd direction from east to west today. That'll continue through the afternoon. I've got the full forecast coming up as WNY News Now at noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Our top story, the Chautauqua County Health Department reported 2 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday, bringing the county total to 12. The new cases involve a man in his 60s and a woman in her 20s. Officials say of the 12 confirmed positive cases, 2 people have recovered completely and were released from mandatory quarantine. 1 person has died and 9 are continuing to recover under mandatory quarantine.
At this time, 26 people are in mandatory quarantine, 26 people in precautionary quarantine, 68 people in mandatory isolation. And at this time, we have received 156 negative test results to date. So as you can see, our county map is updated with our current information.
That's Chautauqua County Executive P.J. Wendell, who says if you do not personally hear from a public health nurse, you are not a close contact of someone who has been confirmed to have COVID-19. Meanwhile, in Cattaraugus County, officials say there are now 8 confirmed cases there. The latest case is a male who lives in the southeastern part of the county with no significant travel history. Doctors say the man was tested on March 30th in the emergency room of Olean General Hospital after complaining of fever, shortness of breath, and body aches and fatigue. The patient was admitted to the hospital for care, and his test result on April 2nd indicated that he was positive for the virus. Today at 3 o'clock, county officials are scheduled to hold a press conference in Mayville on the outbreak. We'll have a live stream right here on WNYNewsNow.com. Well, the nation's top infectious disease doctor, Anthony Fauci, says the entire nation should be under some sort of stay-at-home order. A number of the states are still hiding out, though, and President Trump is now resisting a nationwide order. However, some state leaders are joining health officials in urging a stronger response. It comes as certain areas face an impending shortage of critical supplies and equipment. Bryn Gingas has more from our nation's capital.
A race against time for New York Governor Andrew Cuomo inside the nation's coronavirus epicenter.
We have about 6 days at the current burn rate of ventilators, and you can't buy any more ventilators.
The Javits Convention Center will now serve as a field hospital for coronavirus patients that do not need intensive care. As hospitals throughout the city grow even more overloaded, medical personnel pleading for the right equipment to keep them safe.
We are dying. We are getting sick. It doesn't matter how many ventilators we get if we are dead and cannot run the ventilators.
Their battle cry for supplies amplified for weeks by leaders in the country's hotspots as they watch their medical facilities fill up.
This is a national problem. It needs a national response, and it needs a national call to action.
But President Trump says the primary responsibility doesn't lie with the federal government.
We're a backup. Ideally, those states should have had all this equipment, and I think they will the next time.
Meantime, while Trump maintains a nationwide stay-at-home order isn't necessary, the nation's top infectious disease expert says all states should already have such orders in place.
If you look at what's going on in this country, I just don't understand why we're not doing that. We really should be.
Now in New York City and Los Angeles, if you must go outside, it's highly encouraged to keep your face covered.
Now, notice I haven't called them masks. That's because N95 and other medical grade masks like surgery masks are reserved for medical workers.
The CDC will soon release national guidelines on wearing face masks, but Trump says they will not be required.
Frankly, I don't think they'll be mandatory because some people don't want to do that. But if people wanted, as an example on the masks, if people wanted to wear them, they can.
Dr. Deborah Birx telling Americans don't forget about social distancing, noting the curve of U.S. coronavirus cases shows not every American is taking those guidelines seriously.
So this is really a call to action. We see Spain, we see Italy, we see France, we see Germany, when we see others beginning to bend their curves. We can bend ours, but it means everybody has to take that same responsibility.
All right, Bryn Gingas reporting. Thank you. A senior federal health official says the CDC is recommending a 4-week evaluation before cities return to certain aspects of community life. Well, the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine scientists announced yesterday a potential vaccine against COVID-19, the novel coronavirus. Now, when tested in mice, the vaccine, derived through a fingertip-sized patch, produced antibodies specific to the virus at quantities thought to be sufficient for neutralizing it. A paper in eBiomedicine, which is published by the medical journal Lancet, is the first study to be published after taking account feedback from fellow scientists at outside institutions who have studied COVID-19. Now, you can find much more on the study and the potential vaccine right now at WNYNewsNow.com. Well, State Senator George Borrello recently voted no to Governor Andrew Cuomo's tentative budget deal. As expected, however, the Democrat-controlled legislature reached an agreement with the governor. Borrello says the legislature should pass what he calls a clean budget as the COVID-19 global pandemic rolls along.
To say that I'm disappointed would be a major understatement. Prior to coming in here to work on the budget, I have been talking about why we should, in light of this COVID-19 crisis, pass a clean budget, one that doesn't address policy issues with that lack of transparency that is so often involved by trying to include policy when you're supposed to be talking about finances. And unfortunately, the majority has disappointed us, and at the expense of every New Yorker. We've passed things that I have not supported that really are going to be very damaging.
Now, as of broadcast time, the legislature hasn't officially passed the budget yet. Well, a local summertime favorite in Lakewood is getting ready to open. Big Tree Soft Serve on Fairmount Avenue says they will open with spring hours starting today. The ice cream business says they have made adjustments to follow social distancing guidelines, and they're asking customers to be patient and follow those guidelines while waiting in line. Additionally, business officials say an increased drive-through demand is likely, and that will increase traffic. Big Tree Soft Serve will be open from 4 to 9 Monday through Friday and 12 to 9 Saturday and Sunday. I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream, and maybe it might lead to a little break from COVID-19. Thanks for joining us and for trusting WNY News Now with putting facts over fear on this Friday afternoon. Got to say hello to Deborah. Thanks so much for being here. Becky, good afternoon to you. Mike, hello. Andrew, Elsa, Pam, David has joined us. Wendy, good to see you. We love having you here every day. Hello to Butch, Joseph as well. And a lot of people out there are maybe looking for a little break when it comes to colder temperatures as well. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joins us with a first look at our weather. And Dakota, we're all looking for spring. Do you have any ETA?
Well, we have a little ETA, but we have to get through a couple more days of a little cooler temperatures. Here's a live look coming from Presque Isle Beach. And yeah, even though you can't go on the beaches right now because of social distancing, there's not really a cloud in the sky right now in the westernmost areas, but the clouds are starting to thicken up in the easternmost areas. Here it is on the satellite radar composite. Notice how the clouds are coming in from an odd direction, east to west. Most of our weather flows west to east. Well, a lot of that is due to a storm system that's way off the coast that's actually throwing some cloud cover our way. So expect the clouds to thicken up through the afternoon. So expect partly to mostly cloudy skies through the afternoon. 26 miles per hour was the peak wind gust at the Jamestown airport yesterday, 23 at the Dunkirk airport. And the winds are still breezy early today, but they will start to settle down, especially tonight. And the winds won't be as strong. 49 was the high yesterday, close to our average, which is 51 degrees. 84 and 13 degrees are in the record books for today. Hour by hour here, we have mostly sunny skies now, but expect the clouds to thicken up east to west today, and temperatures hovering in the mid-40s for most areas. But tomorrow should be mostly sunny, a small chance for a shower Sunday, and then spring-like temperatures return for just a little bit for early next week. We'll talk about it in a few. Back to you, Jay.
All right, Dakota, thank you very much. Coming up next, Jamestown Mayor Eddie Sundquist, you see there, joins us live with an update on the city's response to COVID-19. That and more when WNY News Now continues.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
This is Christine Schuyler, Chautauqua County Public Health Director, with a very important message. We need you to make every effort to protect yourselves and our healthcare workers. If you absolutely don't need to go out, don't. If you have a mild cold or flu-like symptoms, with or without a fever, stay home. If your symptoms are severe, call your healthcare provider. Do not go to the emergency room or urgent care. Do not call 911 or go to the ER unless you are experiencing a life-threatening emergency. The best ways you can help prevent the spread of COVID-19 are to wash your hands often with soap and water, cover your cough, avoid close contact with others. Please stay home.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
And welcome back to WNY News Now. This week, Jamestown Mayor Eddie Sundquist closed playgrounds and basketball courts here in the city, part of an effort to contain the novel coronavirus outbreak. Mayor Sundquist joins us live now to talk more about the city's ongoing efforts to contain it. Mayor, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Justin. I'm excited to be here and talk to you about some of the things we've been doing to control the spread of COVID-19 here in the city of Jamestown.
And first off, I wanted to ask, what has led up to the decision to close these playgrounds and basketball courts here?
Well, as we started to get over the last weekend, we noticed the weather was getting warmer. We saw more people congregating in our parks, but more importantly, they were starting to use playground equipment and use our basketball courts. Looking at that, the one thing we want to do is try to reduce any potential spread. And those are areas where when we have people getting way too close to one another, or when we have children playing on equipment that may not be sanitized every couple hours, becomes a huge problem for our community. So in conjunction with our Parks Department, we were able to close down all of our playground equipment and our basketball courts. And in speaking with Councilwoman Karuba, she recommended that we reach out to the school district. So I spoke with the superintendent, and to ensure that our kids are safe, he has also agreed to close down all of the playgrounds and basketball courts on the school property as well.
Now, with parks still being open, what is your recommendation for residents who maybe want to try to get outside and enjoy some of the weather?
Well, I've said all along, I want to encourage our residents to enjoy our over 500 acres of parkland here in the city of Jamestown. But we want to do so safely and maintaining social distance. So get out there, walk your dog, walk with your family, leave room, leave space, and enjoy just some of the parkland that we have.
Now, as for the COVID outbreak here locally, do you know if we have any confirmed cases in Jamestown yet? I know the county has released a new map, but none of that information specifically identifies municipalities in the area.
So the county is not identifying any cases based on municipalities. They're simply doing it based on 4 quadrants, 4 areas of the county. So there's no way for us to know if there is indeed someone in Jamestown that has been infected by COVID-19. However, I have said all along, going back a couple months now, that having a case here in Jamestown is a matter of when, not if. We were going to get it either way, and we wanted to make sure our residents are prepared. And I have to say, I've actually been really grateful to the people here in the city of Jamestown. They're heeding our warning from the beginning. They're staying home. They're maintaining some social distance, and they're really doing the things we need to do to finally get over this curve, stop the spread, and move on back with life.
Now, this week, your office announced that it has extended the closure of City Hall through April 15th. Can you explain to us what this means for city services?
Absolutely. So all of our city offices are essentially closed to the public. You can still call or email our essential staff, our department heads, still maintain office hours. They still come in every single day, but 100% of our non-essential workforce is at home, either working from home or just trying to maintain and keep away from other people. The governor had asked us to do that. We wanted to lead by example here in the city, and we sent people home. We know this makes some difficulties for residents who want to try to get some things done, but at the end of the day, this is something that we all need to do, which is stay home, only go out if necessary, if essential. And as a city, we're practicing the same thing.
Now, in addition to that extension, it was announced that the city has suspended parking regulations and closed some parking garages. Why was that step taken?
So one of the things we wanted to do was early on allow, especially downtown metered spots, for people to use them without have to paying. We understand how difficult of a time this is, and we know that there are essential businesses here downtown. So we opened up all of the metered parking spots. We've also asked our garage providers, which is AllPro, to make sure that their employees also distance and that they aren't put at risk. So we didn't close down the parking garages. We actually opened them up and made sure that there was no one there to collect money or potentially risk their lives with parking in and out of the ramps.
I see. So if someone is coming downtown for whatever reason, maybe even to try to walk to enjoy, obviously with social distancing at the front of their mind, there's no fee on parking whether you'd be in a garage or on the street.
That's correct. The only thing we do want to remind residents of is there is still alternate parking in the city of Jamestown as of April 1st. It now has moved based on the month. So you don't have to change your side of the road if you're parking on our roadways from day by day, but now it's month by month. We found that a lot of people were parking on both sides of the road. It makes it very difficult for our public safety officers to get through either with a fire truck or a police car. And so making sure that cars stay on one side of a road is really to help move things along in the city.
Now, local businesses seem to be on the top of the mind of many, especially with some shops now deciding to close temporarily, others finding creative ways to better serve their customers. What have you seen in regards to local businesses and adapting to the changes?
Well, the one thing that is really incredible is that we have such a resilient community that really did adapt to these changes. I understand how difficult it is to make the decision to close your small business, to tell your employees that they have to go home, they can't come to work. This is a very difficult thing. But while you're asking, I think our business community has done wonderful things. They've come together. Some manufacturers have retooled and are now going to be making masks and other protective gear, ventilator parts, things that will be used across New York State and across this country. I'm proud to say that a lot of our businesses have heeded that call and are also making the adjustments they need to ensure that not only do they stay home and stay healthy, but their customers stay home and stay healthy.
And I want to get your take on the local medical response to COVID-19 and now a new site here at Jones Memorial Hospital in Jamestown for people to get tested. When you heard that news, have you been in contact with officials to try to get this going? What was your reaction to it?
I'm glad to see that the hospital does have a collection site. I think that across New York State, we are still dealing with a lot of issues with testing. There just aren't enough test kits to go around. I'd love to see more people getting tested. I'd love to see a drive-through testing location. We're not there yet, but this is definitely a step in the right direction, a place where people can go and actually provide the specimens for testing. It helps us better understand where we are as a community, and it's going to be a good thing for our county overall. I've been saying all along, we want more tests. We need more testing capabilities here in Chautauqua County, but we are very much limited to what we have here across the state, which is a big mix of both federal and state issues.
That drive-through testing that you mentioned, is that something that we could see going down the road?
Unfortunately, that's going to be up to the county and the county health department, so I would defer to them on that. Obviously, it's something that we would love to see in a lot of different areas, but we recognize that there are much greater needs across the state right now as well.
Yeah, certainly. What is your biggest concern and top priority as this pandemic continues to roll on in the next few weeks, if not months?
No, my top priority is the safety and security of our residents here in the city of Jamestown, making sure that they are staying home, that they're doing the things they need to do to stay healthy. But when you talk about just the government in general, I speak to our federal and state representatives a lot. We might be a small city, but we have a pretty strong voice. And as I speak to them, I'm very concerned that we don't have a real clear guidance, both statewide and federally, on how this is going to impact our economy here in Jamestown and in Chautauqua County. We need to have a better response to ensure that our residents are going to be taken care of, and that as a city and as a state, that we are going to be okay after we are done with this. Because we're spending a lot of money to make sure people's needs are met, and we're not sure we're going to see that going forward. So that is a big concern that we've had. I will also tell you one of my other big concerns is going to be housing after we move over this crisis. Being able to ensure that people have adequate places to live. It's a sentiment that other mayors across the U.S. have echoed. I was on a call just yesterday with several mayors from some of the larger cities, such as Chicago and parts of Maryland, and we all talked about how we don't know what's going to happen with housing after this crisis is over.
Right, and I know the governor's sort of pause on people not having to necessarily pay rent, and it seems like there is confusion out there because at the same time landlords need that income, especially if that's their business. In regards to that specifically, what's your stance / recommendation? If people can obviously pay rent, is that something they should continue to do?
Yeah, so I've had a lot of landlords and renters call about this, call my office. What we're telling our landlords and our renters, pay what you can. You're still going to owe the money. You just can't get evicted right now. So pay what you can to the landlord. We've been telling all the landlords, if you can get some money for it, get it. If you are a renter and you have some available funds to do it, pay it just to protect yourself during this very difficult time. As a city, we are looking at potential loans for businesses to help restart the economy after this goes away. We're also looking at ways that we can try to help our renters get through some of this very difficult time, both renters and landlords. And we hope to have some more information soon about those things.
And finally here, what do you want the citizens of Jamestown to know as we continue to move forward through this period of what seems like great uncertainty?
It is great uncertainty, but I will tell you, having only been in this position now, we're going on our 4th month. I will tell you that the city of Jamestown is probably over-prepared for dealing with this pandemic at this point. We are ready. We're able to handle anything that comes our way. And I'll tell you, we've got some great public safety staff that are there to help out our residents. But more importantly, I want to continue to remind our residents to stay home if they can. Only go out if essential, or if you need to just get some fresh air. That's the most important part at this point, and to just maintain that social distance as we go along in the next what could be weeks or even another month.
And we were just actually talking about that point there with your new term as mayor, not just for you, but for County Executive Wendell. It seems like a lot of young officials, so to speak, are being thrown into the fire now and really under the thumb to try to make tough decisions. I think I know the answer to this question, but when elected, did you ever imagine anything like this?
Absolutely not. There's no handbook for this. There's no playbook. I wish there was, but there isn't. But I'll tell you, a crisis really brings people together. And as I tell my staff and all of our employees at City Hall, whenever there's a crisis, what people will remember are the actions you take. And that's why in the city we are taking decisive actions in order to make sure our residents are safe.
All right, Jamestown Mayor Eddie Sundquist joining us today. Sir, thank you so much for being here. We know you're busy and we really appreciate the time.
Thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah, you too. Now let's get a check of our weather forecast with Dakota.
I said it last week, Mayor Sundquist's home office is swank. That's office goals right there. Hey, yesterday we were at 49 degrees. That was the official high yesterday. 53 in Dunkirk and 48 over in Erie. Those were the official highs yesterday, and that held us down a little bit because of that north to northwest wind bringing in some cooler air. Hey, mostly sunny skies downtown. Just a little cloud right here behind the Digital building. Other than that, downtown's in full sunshine. We're at 42 right now at the airport. The wind is only north today, but look at that wind gust at 22 miles per hour, so it feels a little colder than 37 when you step outside when you get one of those wind gusts. Right now across the region, 40 in Mayville, 41 at the Mesonet site in Fredonia, 45 in Dunkirk, 44 in Erie, and you're still at 37 degrees over in Olean right now at this hour. And temperatures are going to be struggling through this afternoon as the clouds start to filter back in. So clouds are on the increase this afternoon with that coastal storm. Maybe a sprinkle or two tonight. I know it's not going to be any widespread rain, but if you do walk outside tonight, you may catch a little light sprinkle. That'll be about it. Scattered showers return on Sunday, and then we're back to spring early next week, but that spring-like temperature is not going to last. We'll actually fall a little bit below average. Look at this storm. This is the same coastal storm I showed you yesterday, but look at the swirl in here. It's wrong way, like the wrong way sign. You don't be traveling on this road because, again, this is the moisture that's coming in, or should I say the cloud cover, and this is coming in from east to west. Our weather mostly flows west to east, but I'm going to zoom right in on this to show you this. This is the Goes East high-resolution satellite. We're the only ones in the southern tier who have access to this high-resolution satellite on our graphic system. So it looks really good, and again, you can see that circle right here. It kind of looks like a hurricane. It's not a hurricane. It has characteristics of a subtropical storm, but this is where our clouds are coming from this storm, and we'll zoom you right into western New York to show you. There's the leading edge of the cloud cover right there. So this will be increasing from east to west through the day today. We'll show it to you on Future Scan. You can see the model picks up on the clouds increase from east to west today, not west to east. It's the opposite direction with that coastal storm. So clouds will be on the increase. We'll likely end the day partly sunny to mostly cloudy. Tonight, mostly cloudy to overcast. Now tomorrow, clouds early, then we should break out to partly sunny skies, if not mostly sunny for a period. You can see the clouds breaking up here as we go into Saturday afternoon. Bigger story will be the weekend here as we go into Sunday, so let's time it out for you now. This is Saturday night. You can see some rain showers coming in on Saturday night. With this is essentially a weak cold front moving through. So again, some scattered showers likely early on Sunday. It's going to be hit and miss. It's not going to be widespread, not going to be raining everywhere, and it's not going to be a heavy rain at that. And then the afternoon should be partly cloudy after we clear out the rain showers, especially in the morning hours on Sunday. Zone forecast. The Lake Erie shoreline here today, temperatures almost the same as where they were yesterday, maybe mid-40s here, but the clouds will increase throughout the day with that northwest wind. Inland areas here, temperatures mid-40s here for most areas, and the clouds will increase throughout the day and it will be breezy. You want them? There they are. Next 7 days coming up, and 55 tomorrow, 45 on Sunday, scattered shower chance, mainly in the morning. Then we go back to 59 on Monday, a dry day. We're up to 60 on Tuesday, another weak front moving through, maybe a few scattered showers, and we will retain a small shower chance both Wednesday and Thursday, but temperatures drop back down into the upper 40s once again by next Thursday. Justin?
All right, Dakota, thank you very much. Let's get a final check of the comments now. Got to say hello to Lucian. Hopefully you're doing well. Thanks so much for being here. Good to see Storm, Chris, Sean, Amy as well. Kevin chimes in. He says, a break from COVID-19 to go out and get ice cream. How about staying home, making sure you're safe? And Kevin, I can tell you that officials say it's okay to go outside. Just make sure you practice safe social distancing. Don't go to a park that has too many people there. You can go to businesses who are still open and engage in curbside service, call ahead for items and things like that. But you have to be careful in regards to how they keep their facility. And many local businesses, as the mayor said, are doing a great job of keeping things clean and following social distancing guidelines. I know for a lot of them, JRSC Digital here in Jamestown is selling these signs that remind people of social distancing guidelines, and I've been seeing those pop up all around the community. So that's really what they're asking for, is to follow the CDC guidelines and try to stay 6 feet apart. Got to say hello to Robert, Becky, Thomas. Hopefully you're doing well. Good afternoon to Mark. Good to see you. And Robert, hopefully everyone is having a good day. That's going to do it for us here on this Friday. We do remind you that today at 3 o'clock, Chautauqua County officials are scheduled to host a press conference update about the local COVID-19 outbreak and we'll provide that live for you right here on Facebook and on our mobile app. That's it for us today. We're back on Monday with a show at noon. Hope to see you then.